Today, my fellow listeners, I would like to speak to you about metaphorics. Metaphorics that are used in our daily lives, such as don't leave the keys on the table. Now we say this because it is said to bring us to make thy unlucky. And it's easy to fall prey for this without any regard or analytic thinking to it. But you see, there's more to the truth here than meets the eyes. For what is it that the keys represents in themselves? It is, in its most sacred form, a definition of securing that which one finds valuable. And if one is so lazy or uncaring and unwittingly capable of throwing the thing that holds everything that you find valuable, you are by nature asking for somebody to come and take it from you. You are in doing so invoking the spirits of the world, so to speak, to come to you and take what is rightfully yours. You are bringing the unluckiness to your doorstep, and you're letting them in. So to say to not leave the keys on the table because it brings you unluck, it's not that it brings the unluck, it's that you create the unluck around you. Now, metaphors has been used for quite a while to express ourselves in ways we cannot really express what we want to communicate. Such an expression, for example, are ghosts. Now, what are ghosts really? If we look at it in one way, it is said that ghosts are spirits of the dead that haunts us. So let's look at the word dead. To be dead, you must not live. And you have to have ceased from time itself. So when you speak of somebody who is dead, that means you're speaking about somebody who is in the past. And a ghost is just that which haunts you from the past. And spirits is just an expression of ideas. And ideas can manifest themselves in all sorts of ways. We've all seen the psychotic patients that tells you the trolls around you are there to snatch your children, or that he can see and speak to demons. Even those who partake in psychedelic drugs will tell you that they see faces in the walls, or the walls themselves are breathing. Now, it is not to say that the walls are in fact breathing, but for the person per se who sees them, they do exist. And it's a manifestation of his inner self, the inner idea manifesting in reality for the subject. Now, I want to present you with an idea. A near and dear friend of mine told me a story. A story of when she was a little kid. She had tremendous nightmare, a horrible nightmare. And the nightmare consisted of her sleeping between her parents, which she was doing. But she was dreaming that she was sleeping there. And then something outside the door was looking in towards her. And the thing was shaped as the Reaper Man, or a cloak of shadows. And when she saw the creature, or the thing, she wished that it wasn't there, and she folded her hands in her head, and she begged that it wasn't real, terrified. But she had to look. And when she did look again, the Reaper appeared right in front of her face. And the fear was so intense that she woke up screaming, and she couldn't breathe. Her breath was taken from her. The first thing here is that most people, they will look at this phenomena and think that the dream itself caused the suffocation, the sickness. But alas, when we dream, we don't dream in historical sequences. We dream sporadic. It's just that when we wake up, our brains tell the sporadic images as one story. This is why one can dream a whole dream about a dynamic clock or a bomb that's ticking. And it's ticking away. It's been ticking for 8 hours. And as soon as the clock counts down to 0, a blast creates an explosion and you wake up to the thundering roar of lightnings outside the door, because there's a storm. Now, how did the dream know that the storm was gonna strike down lightning before lightning has struck? That's because the dream didn't come before the lightning. The lightning came before the dream. The dream woke up the person, and in the mere seconds of waking up, the mind filled the dream with images that represented the extreme noise of the thunder. And so here did the Reaper Man consist of the fear that my friend felt when she was suffocating. Her brain filled the image of a Reaper Man, of death, of that which is unknown, because that's what fear is. Now this story continues. 2 years later, the same person is sitting in her bed, and she wakes up. This time, it's not a dream. And she's looking outside her door towards the kitchen and the hallway. And she sees the same thing, creature, Reaper, appear. And this time, it looks around and it tries to get inside her room, but it can't. And it walks off. Now, these persons were haunted by this for about a year. So I asked her, when did it end and why did it end? And it ended when she said that she confronted the thing and that she was angry with it. She didn't want it there anymore. She was done with it. Now, a way to look at this is to consider the ghost as something, that is to say, the past manifesting itself in the present because there's something is unresolved. And it manifests itself in trying to represent what it is that we haven't taken care of or sorted out. Now, the person had something happen to her that she couldn't understand, and it represented itself in fear. And the first thing the mind did to remember what was the most intense fear possible was the representation of suffocation, the Reaper Man itself. And fear, as we know it, is the unknown, and the unknown can only be countered by exposure. To seek out the unknown, to know what is not there. And that is how we overcome the past. So when somebody says, I don't believe in ghosts, ghosts are nonsense. It's trivial. It's non-existing. They are not looking at the whole pictures. They're taking it literally. Because when we speak of such things we don't understand, we speak of them as literally, but we don't mean it literally. We mean them metaphorically.